And we are back, and we just finished watching 2006 masterpiece, The Prestige, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 2 hours and 10 minutes. This comes to us from director Christopher Nolan, with writing credits to Jonathan and Christopher Nolan from Christopher Priest's novel. This is currently streaming on Hulu and is also to buy rent on Prime Video. This, according to IMDb, rival 19th century magicians engage in a bitter battle for trade secrets. This came out the same year as The Illusionist, but this by far is the superior storytelling experience. Again, this comes to us from the always 2 steps ahead of the game kind of mind of Christopher Nolan, where it's basically a story about obsession and sacrifice, right?
Yeah, I would definitely say that.
And we're introduced to 2 very interesting characters, Alfred Borden, played by Christian Bale, and Robert Angier, played by Hugh Jackman, who come together with this maker of illusions, this man named Cutter, played by another Nolan regular, Michael Caine, who it seems like the mechanics of making an illusion or a magic trick, there is obviously no mystery to it. It's just performance. And one of them, the Bale character, is more about the purity of the performance, where Angier's character is more about the showmanship of the performance.
Well, not really the purity of the performance. It's the technical skill of the illusion. That's what was important to Bale, just making an amazing trick. Mm-hmm. Whereas for Jackman's character, it was about the presentation and the response of the crowd.
Yes, which is
and you see that played out as the film goes on when you see both their acts, because in the beginning of the film they're both sort of like apprentices.
Yes.
Cutter is the guy who basically he's a guy who works for a magician, and he's the guy who builds the illusions, the craft behind it. Mm-hmm. And Borden and Angier, they're studying underneath him, and I guess the goal is eventually they will go out on their own and become magicians themselves,
or big time magicians.
Right. They'll be the name on the marquee, and they'll use a guy like Cutter behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. All right. You and I actually saw this in the theater. It still holds up from 2000.
Oh God, yeah, this is an awesome movie. Yeah, this is a great movie.
Next year, this movie will be 20 years old. Wow, that's amazing.
It's painful when you say things like that.
Yeah, and this is a film that we saw before the birth of our first child, so we were still footloose and fancy-free with our time and going to the theaters every weekend. You and I have seen it, but I'd like to ask the kids what they think of the film. I'm going to start with you, G. What did you think of the film? This is your first time watching it.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, what did you like about it?
I liked all the mystery. I'm usually not good at guessing at all, but I was able to figure out a few things. There's sort of aspects of a few things. It was still a very complex.
Yes, but you guys hung in there, so thank you very much for staying through.
It was a really good movie. I enjoyed watching it, and I enjoyed everything revealed at the end. Everything made sense.
Did you have an idea of what was going to happen at the end there?
I have seen a little bit of this movie before, so I did know some things about it already. Although a certain thing about the movie that I saw in the past, I didn't remember until 3/4 through.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd already made some guesses before then, but I forgot what you asked, if I'm being honest.
It's okay. It's okay. Did you have a favorite character?
I don't know.
Who do you feel was
Angier.
Angier was what?
Angier was my favorite out of the 2.
Okay.
Or he was the one that I sympathized with the most, or I thought that he was the most justified in his cause, at least in the beginning, because his wife literally gets killed.
Yeah.
And I was rooting for him throughout the entire film, even after his motivations sort of got a bit blurry, I guess you could say. Well, they're not very blurry.
Do you feel like he at some point in the film started crossing a line?
Oh yeah, especially by the end. He was insane by the end.
Yeah. There was no coming back from that.
Did you feel more sympathy for Borden towards the end?
No.
Really?
Hell no. I really didn't care. I mean, I did care because it was a good film, but yeah, I didn't care about Borden. I found him incredibly, I guess, reprehensible because can we say what happens?
Yeah, of course. This movie's almost 20 years old. Do you think he genuinely, intentionally went into that trick to hurt Julia?
I don't think it was his intention to hurt her, but it was his like ambition. Yeah, it killed her. He killed her. And I was so mad when Jackman's like, "What knot did you tie?" And he's like, "I don't know."
Right.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't care that he kept saying, "I don't know." I think he did know.
Could he have been talking to the wrong twin in that moment?
That could be true. But at the same time, Borden writes in his journal, "I don't know." He kills Angier's wife and then doesn't even give him the satisfaction of telling him, "Yeah, I was the reason she died."
But also, in a moment
Or
like that,
closure.
but in a moment like that, when things are just happening so quickly, I mean, it is plausible.
No,
that he
I don't
genuinely
think so.
doesn't remember, because we see him tie the tie, then he looks at Julia, and then he unties it and reties it
In
right?
a different way.
In a different way.
And she
So-
nods at him.
She
She
did
wants
nod
him
at
to
him.
tie that knot.
Right.
She did.
So he does one thing, and then he changes to something else, but then the gravity of what has just happened is probably so shocking that it's like, oh my God.
I still don't think so.
Okay, fair.
I
That's
still
fair.
think that he knew and he just
Didn't care?
Yeah.
Okay. Olive G, did you have a favorite character in this film?
Probably that drunk guy. He was funny.
He was great. And I love that kind of to G's point, Borden is kind of reprehensible because he kind of twists that guy's head into doing stuff
Well,
that will ultimately
is Borden
hurt
justified in that because Angier stole his trick?
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, it was like this rivalry for the ages, and like neither one could let it go.
Yeah.
And to the point where at the end you see Borden say to Fallon, "You were right, I should have just walked away from this, and now I'm going to pay the price."
Yeah.
And it didn't matter because Angier didn't care. He was going to let him hang, even though him coming forward could have saved him, but he didn't care.
So by the end, this is for everybody, Borden seems to have realized the error of the ways. Whereas
yes, but it's probably because
Angier
he's
carried
faced
it all
with
the way
death.
to the end.
But he's faced with death, and he
Yeah.
has remorse because at some point his life ceases to exist, and his life is so entwined with that of his brothers that there has to be some sort of reflection and remorse and atonement. I mean, he wasn't like a traditional villain. I mean, he wasn't a good man, but he wasn't an evil person either. He did have feelings, and
He was
the
just
one
too
brother
obsessed.
loved Olivia, the other one loved Sarah.
Yeah.
Right? So they were two different people that decided that this is how they were going to live their lives. They were going to take turns with each other's lives. And that's like such a weird thing because at some point you're sacrificing, right? You're really
Well, it's not even at some point. It's at all points.
At all points,
Because
right.
that's how dedicated he was to the craft, that he was willing to basically cut his life, and his brother was also willing to do the same. They would cut their lives in half to be one person.
Right. And to the point where like they're doing, I think that scene towards the end when you see that Borden is actually two people. It made the whole storyline with Sarah even sadder because she couldn't say it out loud, but I think she knew what was going on. I think she finally figured it out.
I think she did, but the fact that he wouldn't admit to it and having that doubt, I think that just kind of drove her mad.
Crazy, yeah. Which is sad because she had a child and she didn't.
Yeah, I mean, she is the truly innocent victim in this entire thing.
Julia too.
Julia too, but Sarah didn't ask for any of this. Julia
knew what she was getting
into. She was in a dangerous profession, and like we said, she did nod when Borden looked at her. So she is not without 100% responsibility there. Whereas Sarah, she just wanted to be in love with someone and live a life.
I'm going to ask the kids, Olive G, What did you think of the Sarah character?
I felt bad for her.
Because
She's an innocent person. The fact that they were like sharing like a life together like drove her crazy so much that she like hung herself.
yeah, when the Hugh Jackman character sends Scarlett Johansson over to Christian Bale to be his spy, what did you think of that whole story?
I don't care about her, to be honest.
All right. Gee, what did you think of that sequence when Angier sends Olivia to spy on Borden?
Just no loyalty at all. She was the worst.
Was it her fault, though? Because she's just doing what Angier asks her to do.
No, she went there to do what he asked her, and then she completely betrayed him, and she's like, oh, yeah.
But was that part of the trick? Because wasn't it agreed that she would basically tell him the truth? So she kind of
She told him the truth, and then she was like, well, he told me to tell you all this.
Right.
And she sticks with Borden in the end. She completely forsakes Hugh Jackman. What are you
And she
talking
says
about?
that she's in love with him. She
She
Angier.
tells him, I'm in love with him.
She has an affair with him.
Yes.
Yeah, she helps him cheat on his...
But Angier also forced her. Well, not forced her, but
He told her to go
told
over
her
there,
to
yeah.
go over there.
But
because-
then she didn't do what she was sent there to do.
I mean, in a way, because she stole the diary, right?
And Borden's the one who told her to give it to Angier.
Does she tell him that originally? She doesn't tell him that at first.
No, she just says...
Angier just reads it in the
Yeah,
diary.
she lies to him. She's like, I stole it. If I don't get it back to him by tomorrow, blah, 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 blah.
Right. And then he goes and, like,
stages
wrecks the
break-in,
place.
yeah.
Right, to make it
He
seem
knew
like,
that she took it because he told her to take it over. Olivia completely just throws away Angier and jumps into Borden's arms.
right. But, I mean, in a way, is she justified? Because...
No.
No? All right.
Angier sent her over there to do something and she didn't do it.
But wouldn't you say that, like, she's had feelings for Angier?
Okay.
Yes, they have a
And then
relationship.
Angier he just views her as a tool.
Right.
Yeah, I guess so.
So then who cares if she betrays Angier?
I care because I don't like Borden.
Oh, that's right. Even at that point, though?
Yeah, I didn't like him throughout the whole movie. I
But
I don't care about Hugh Jackman. I never got over the fact that he killed Julia.
All right.
But he didn't maliciously kill her. They agreed upon using that knot.
No, it doesn't matter because they should have known better. Yes, she agreed, but he never should have looked at her in the first place. He never should have insisted on doing something in that dressing room that they had never practiced before.
I mean, she has a point.
They
were both
stupid.
being reckless.
They
yes.
were both being reckless, and in the end, it was her who paid the price.
Right.
So in my mind, he's the one.
But in
at
a
fault.
way,
Well, they all paid the price.
I mean,
for
I was
it.
going to say, they're
Yeah,
all
they do, but she's the one who
basically tragic
paid.
characters.
She's the first one to pay the price. You know what I mean? She's
Yes,
the one
no.
who died.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. But also, isn't the plate of suffering also heavy for Borden? Because Sarah kills herself.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a guilt that both brothers bear. One probably more than the other. And then whatever relationship the other brother had with Olivia is completely decimated because she eventually walks away from both of them because she can't deal. She doesn't want to be caught within these two careening trains that are going to implode.
Olivia leaves Borden because she doesn't know that they're two different people. And
Right.
she can't bear that he is so cold. It's
Right.
like she's dead.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me that you love me. That's cold. And it's
She said you
it's
could be with
inhuman.
any other girl and another one saying the same things to her. Any other girl in another restaurant or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. She basically handled that dichotomy in Borden differently than Sarah did.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Sarah
Sarah had to put up with it longer. She had
right.
a child with him. That's way more invested than Olivia was. Olivia
Right.
was some fling.
And the whole, like, to your point before, like, Borden consistently lies to Sarah. To Sarah because she knows. She's like, today I believe you when you say that you love me, or today I think you love magic more than me. So whichever Borden brother it was that was in love with Sarah, and the days that he became Fallon must have been torturous because He is not Freddy. He is not Alfred. He is Fallon. So, I mean, I feel like all of them suffer in some way, shape, or form. There's
Nobody
no
in this
winners
movie
here.
gets out clean.
No. I mean, not even Jess. I mean, I'm assuming that the brother that lives is her father. I'm assuming.
Yeah, they explain that, yeah.
Okay. What do we think of the Cutter character? Gee, that was Michael Caine.
I know. He was around.
Okay. I
I
mean,
don't
do you think he bears any responsibility for this mess that's created? I mean, at one point
not really.
he's in Angier's corner, but then
Yeah.
at the end it seems like he's helping.
It doesn't seem like he does help them.
Well, yes, he's helping Borden.
Yeah.
So, do you think he's somewhat responsible, or does he have a hand in this story?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he was a character. Obviously, he has a hand in it.
Okay. What do you think?
To me, Cutter was doing a job, and he chose to work with Angier because Angier was the more sympathetic character in the beginning. Borden was more serious. He was the less likable of the two men.
Yes.
Even when they were just apprentices, he was more. You
He
could
was
almost
very
say he was.
cocky
He was
and-
very cocky. He was very arrogant. Oh yeah, I could do this knot. It's not the knot's not going to be a big deal. He basically acted like he knew more than anybody,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't. That was one of Borden's flaws.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense that Cutter would work with Angier.
Mm-hmm.
I think as the movie progressed, he realizes this is not healthy. What's going on here? This is going too far.
Right. He didn't want to go to America.
Yeah, he said obsession's a young man's game.
Right.
So Angier was like, well, I guess I'm going to America on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the very end, as far as he know, Angier kept him in the dark about what exactly was going
What's
on.
going on? It wasn't until he went
And
to see Lord
And once he
Caldlow.
saw Lord Cordlow,
Codlow.
once he saw that, it was like, I'm done with this.
Right.
You are completely insane. You were obsessed, but at least you weren't basically getting somebody murdered.
Right.
Now you have gone way over the edge here. So in my mind, Cutter was, I mean, I wouldn't say he was 100% innocent because he was still willing to go along with Angier prior to that when it was just sort of like that rivalry between the two magicians. But that's just business.
Right.
When it became this sort of like psychotically personal vendetta, I think Cutter was done.
Yeah. Olive, one of the themes here is obsession. When is an obsession bad? When do you think an obsession is bad?
You like make a shrine of it.
When you make a shrine of it?
Yeah.
Have you ever been obsessed with something?
Yes.
What?
Many things.
Like what?
Like one in specific.
Yeah.
Sonic.
Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah, like I used to be obsessed with watching those Sonic EX videos back during COVID.
Would you, if somebody else became obsessed with Sonic, would you get into a rivalry with them where you ended up framing them for murder?
No.
Good. I'm glad to hear
I'm
that.
not gonna out Sonic someone just because they're like the same game as me.
Okay. All right. So you're not murderously obsessive. You're just a fan.
Yeah. Well, that's different. I think obsession is something completely different. These men were obsessed to the point where they were willing to hurt the other.
Yeah, like Algier says, I don't care about my wife.
Yes. And in that moment, that was such a true statement. And to hear that said out loud, Olivia, you could see Olivia's like,
It probably stopped being about her long ago, probably after the bullet catch.
oh, right.
But it was still
It
crazy.
burned.
You know what? I think what really made him go nuts? When he followed him and he saw him with Sarah.
Yes.
And he says,
He has the life.
he has the
I
life I should have
would've
had.
Right.
It's sort of like that's phrase, the best revenge is living your life well.
Right. A life well lived.
A life well lived. And that's the revenge that Borden got on Angier for losing his fingers.
Yes, he had these cat and mouse games with Angier, but I felt like Borden would have gone on with his life without a thought to Angier's if Angier
he
wasn't
would
in
have.
his
He would have if
periphery.
yeah, he would have. I mean, he was happy. It was like, okay, I've made this great trick.
Mm-hmm.
He was the originator of that trick of the transported man. But Angier couldn't let it go, and it was just like, it was the greatest trick. How does he do it? We got to do it better.
Right. And Cutter tells him he has a double, but he couldn't believe that it was something that simple.
It was just too good.
Yeah.
That was Borden's power or Borden's ability. He lived it. That was the level of sacrifice. It goes back to the whole thing where they were like, watch that old Chinese dude.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, he's acting like a cripple. Everywhere he goes, he must act like a cripple,
Right.
so that people don't believe that he is capable.
He's like a wrestler. He's living the
living
gimmick.
the gimmick. Exactly. Everybody thinks he's this decrepit old man. Meanwhile, he's strong enough to carry a bowl full of water between his knees and then lift it onto a table with one hand.
Yeah. That's wild.
Angier could not fathom that. He even says, I, for the life of me, couldn't imagine doing something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Borden could imagine it because he was doing it.
Yeah.
Even before they were doing any shows.
Mm-hmm.
As far as everybody knew, that it wasn't like Borden ever mentioned he had a sibling anywhere. Even before he was performing, years before he was performing, he was still maintaining this double life in preparation for the eventual, it's time to reveal my masterpiece trick.
Right, right.
The teleported man.
Yeah. So we're talking about obsession. Olive, when Angier goes to the United States to meet with Tesla, he is committed to seeing this thing through. He saw the name Tesla in the diary, the journal that Borden kept. So he went and he said to him, I want you to make me the machine that you were going to make for Borden. And Tesla does ultimately make him the machine. I don't know how much time passes.
I think he said that he was gone for 2 years or something?
Right. So he'd been gone away for a while. I don't remember exactly the time frame, but it's been a while. However, before Tesla and Angier's part ways, Tesla tries to warn Angier that what he should do with the machine is destroy it. What do you think of that, Olive? If you had the ability to recreate something, would you use that machine? It could be anything. It could be a piece of pumpkin pie. It could be a pet. It could be yourself. Would you, if you had the ability to recreate something, would you?
I guess I'd do it for the money.
That's a good answer.
I think that's the right answer. I sure as hell wouldn't be doing it to, hey, look, I'm the greatest magician ever. No. I would just
money, please. Money, please.
throw a big pile of money on it and just recreate it.
Gee, what about you?
Yeah, the same reason. What the hell?
Yeah. What about you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, me and Dad actually talked about this before the review, and he brought that up. And yeah,
I'd become the greatest manufacturer ever. It'd be like, oh, you want me to manufacture your stuff? Hey, made in America. I'd just be cranking stuff out and like, give me the money. Wouldn't be
money, please.
Wasting it on duplicating myself.
Yeah. What else can we talk about? G believes that Borden is reprehensible and without salvation. I kind of see the gray areas for both characters. I think by the end, Angier becomes like the bigger villain, but I'm not excusing Borden's behavior either. And I think that he realizes too late his hand in all of this, but he's going to pay the price. There's no escaping the noose. I think Cutter wants to make things right and helps Fallon get Jess back. So there's that. And then I think Fallon needed to square away accounts with Angier's. And so that part of the story wraps up as well. Do you think, and again, there's no right or wrong answer. I'm going to go around the table. Olive G, at the end of the story, do you think that Borden continues to do magic?
I don't know, maybe.
All right. What do you think?
Yeah, he's still Borden. He's still obsessed with it. I mean, he won't be able to do the teleported man anymore, but he could still do all the other stuff.
What about you, Jay? What do you think?
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's all he did is probably not going to get a regular job, and he has to provide for his kids somehow.
See, I thought that this whole experience would have taught him a lesson, and that not that he would give up magic entirely, but I think ultimately he was going to move away from that because magic, as much as he loved it, brought nothing but heartbreak to him. It took Sarah away from him. It took his brother away from him. It took this life away from him. I don't think that he could go back to it. I think that for Jess's sake, he has to probably go work at a mill or something. I think he'll always have magic in his own way, but I think that ultimately this whole experience taught him that he needed to be a different person, especially because he had a child that depended on him, that needed him to be there. He couldn't afford to make the mistake that would let his neck get in a noose. Or what?
He steals the other guy's fortune because remember he was living in that big mansion.
I don't think he wanted money, though. I mean, the
Yeah, but he could use that to support for his child.
he could, but I don't think that he'd want to be on the property. I think he wanted to get far
he'd
away
sell the
from
property and then he'd move into a different house.
I don't think he'd be able to do that because he's not Angier.
Yeah,
He doesn't
look
gonna,
anything
he's not
like
gonna,
Angier. Or,
Plus, Angier has a family.
right,
But
that's true.
to what you're saying before, you say that he would move on from that for his daughter because you have daughters, and also you're a well-adjusted individual. Like, those two were insane. You literally say one of the themes, like the biggest theme, sure there's sacrifice, but the biggest theme of the movie was obsession.
Yes.
And once you're obsessed, you can't really go back.
Fair, but I think this brother had a little bit more footing in reality. I think the brother that gets the noose, the one that was in love with Olivia, I think he was the one that was like volatile and more obsessed.
I still think they were both. The one you're saying is more steeped in reality. He was married to Sarah, and she said, "Oh, like I feel like you love magic more than me." That's when she's talking to the other one, right?
Right.
So when she was talking to her, Borden, that like sort of alludes to the fact that he loves her more than magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's dead.
She's
So
dead, right.
Is there really anything for him? He has his daughter, but
Well, that's what I mean. This life cost him a lot. It cost him the woman that he loved. It cost him his brother, who he's lived his entire life with.
he lived
to
his
the
entire
point-
life as.
As exactly. He's basically missing a part of himself because that's how entwined their lives were. They were two people, but one. They shared one life. And I think that because of all the mayhem that this life created, I think at some point he has to walk away from it. Maybe not entirely, but I don't think that he's going to be headlining theaters. I think that
I could see him being a cutter for somebody else. He is not going to abandon this life because, let's be honest, this is back in a certain age where you learned a trade and that's it. You were that trade. His trade is building this stuff. Mm-hmm. And maybe he won't be the showman. That really wasn't his strength anyway. And also, it wasn't like it was for Angier, the look on their faces. So that to Borden wasn't important. The important thing was the craft of it. So I could see him becoming like a cutter. I keep forgetting how to pronounce it.
I think it was like
ingénieux
or something.
Yeah, it was like some French word for
Yeah, it
engineer.
ended in like EUR or something.
Yeah, I could see him doing that because he does need to provide for his daughter. And now he could do it in a way that's more full because as he said, or as he said to himself or his brother said to him, you live for both of us now.
right.
You live the full life. He doesn't have to be split anymore. He can focus on the magic and his daughter. And quite easily, in fact, because chances are he's going to teach everything he knows to his daughter.
I get what you're saying, but I think my interpretation was that he moves away from this stuff because this was probably such a high profile thing. This was a rivalry of the ages. They had opposing theaters right across the street having the same show. One stole the magic trick from the other guy. It's not like you had cable and you had a plethora of entertainment. So I think that seeing that face would trigger something in people like, shouldn't you be dead? Kind of thing. And I think that he's trying to live in the shadows and away from that.
That's the thing. In actuality, they are not the same person. In reality, they are not the same person. Yeah, that man is dead. He was my brother. That's it. He's not even lying. It doesn't matter if you see his face.
Yeah, I guess.
My brother died.
Yeah. But see, I wouldn't feel like he would ever confess that he had a brother. He would just go on as Alfred.
There is no point in maintaining the illusion anymore because it's over. It doesn't matter anymore. And just for practicality, he needs to do what he does. And he is really good at one thing, building magic tricks. So there is no reason why he wouldn't be the guy in the back, the cutter of another person.
I guess. Maybe. We'll never know.
We'll never know. That's fan fiction and headcanon and all that.
Exactly. The other thing I kind of want to talk about really quickly was that I misread this film for many, many years because I was under the impression, because Angiers desperately wanted the accolades, at least to me, that he was the one at the end of the night, every night, as the prestige. But you explained it to me that that wasn't the case. Do you want to elaborate a little on that?
It's kind of misleading because, yes, he is the man at the end in the prestige, but he is also the man in the box.
Right.
And the reason why he says the sacrifice I make is I don't know every night. I don't know if I'll be the man in the box or I'll be the man in the prestige. Mm-hmm. And the reasoning is he goes into the machine every night knowing that he is going into that water casket, that big water tank.
And he's basically killing himself.
And he is killing himself.
Every night.
The reason why there is doubt, the reason why there is questioning in his mind is he is the man in the box if there isn't anybody out there. Mm-hmm. If the machine doesn't work, if the machine malfunctions, he'll never know because he is already in a box drowning. The new Angier appears elsewhere, and that's how it always is. It's not like the guy in the machine gets teleported. The machine doesn't teleport anything. Mm-hmm. It just makes a duplicate a certain distance away. So he dies every night. He goes into that machine and he kills himself. He kills himself for the show.
That's so crazy.
And that's the level of his obsession. That's why in his mind, that's when they talk about sacrifice, they have that whole argument, oh, you don't know what sacrifice is. Borden, his sacrifice was living half a life for his art, making it miserable for Sarah and Olivia and everybody.
Even himself. I mean, he had to mutilate himself to maintain this illusion. That's the level of sacrifice, living the gimmick, as we were discussing before. The sacrifice in Angier's mind was doing everything for the show, including killing myself every single night, literally, not just like, oh, wow, I really put a lot of hard work. I killed myself for that show. No, he's literally killing himself. Yeah. Olive G, did you like this film?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Gigi, do you think that at the end, do you think Angier sets Borden up?
How do you mean?
Do you think that he thought that at some point Borden is going to come down and try to mess with my show?
That's the whole point.
Yeah, he literally says to Cutter, it has to be somewhere Borden can't ignore. Their venue when they were selecting.
Yeah. Angier's counting on Borden's obsession. And one of Borden's wasn't biting. The other one did.
Right.
And he knew that he would show up at some point.
But Angier still didn't understand that there were two Bordens.
He never understood that till the very end.
Right.
Until the very end.
So he was counting on him to come, to set him up. And that's why he had like a certain number of performances, because I guess he figured by the 100th, this guy will be here.
Yeah. Like if he went through 100 and nothing happened, maybe Borden just is not as obsessed as I think he is. Mm-hmm. maybe I won't be able to get him this way. And if he can't get him that way, he's just not going to be able to get him. He'll come up with something else probably. Maybe he'll just find him and shoot him or something.
Right. Well, he definitely had the means.
He had the means. He was wealthy as hell. But
wouldn't it have been easier to hire somebody to kill Borden?
it's not the same, though.
Right.
It's more about not only ruining his life, but taking his legacy. The transported man. Look at this. I have made your trick. I have perfected it. I've mastered it. And I have expanded upon it in a way that you could not possibly understand, to the point where that's going to drive you insane. And at the end of it all, you're never even going to find out, because you're going to be murdered. It's like, for Angier, this is like the greatest thing ever. It's like, not only did I take his trick, he even tells him, he rips it up. I don't need the truth about your trick. I did it, and I did it better. And he's screaming, all you have to do is tell them who you are, and you'll this will all go away. No.
Angier didn't care.
Angier did not care. In his mind, he won. Kills Borden. He takes his trick.
He doesn't kill him, but he
is completely responsible for Borden being where he is.
Yes,
for his execution. He takes his trick. It goes down in history as Angier being the master of the transported man. And then on top of that, he's got his daughter,
right,
as his ward. So he's like Bebop and a Scad. He thinks he's got it all.
Yeah.
Until he doesn't.
Right. All right. Olive G, 1 to 10, what would you give this film?
An 8.
An 8. What would you give it?
I'd give this film like a 9 or a 9.5.
Gigi.
I was also going to say 9.
This is my favorite Nolan film.
Me too.
It's funny, the same year that this came out, The Illusionist came out, also about magicians, but this one was just top tier. I don't know what could have made this better. It's completely mesmerized by the lunacy of Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale in this. The secondary characters are great. My heart bleeds for Rebecca Hall. I really liked Cutter. The cinematography is great.
Also, David Bowie's in it.
Also, David Bowie. I was going to get to that. Yes, being probably one of the most intriguing characters of recent history, Nikola Tesla. The costuming in this is gorgeous. The set pieces are wonderful. You really get a sense of this space and time. Nothing looks out of place. Everything fits well. There's no minutia here. Everything flows brilliantly. This is Nolan at his best. I mean, I know that other people probably like other films of his, but this is his magnum opus, and this would get a 10 from me. Absolutely. Because nothing could make this better. The story is phenomenal, intricate and phenomenal. And the payoff is just, wow, chef's kiss at the end. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's currently streaming on Hulu. Again, The Prestige from Christopher Nolan. It is rated PG-13. There's scenes of intense peril, I guess, is a thing.
There's dangerous elements to it.
Dangerous elements, but nothing that people can't watch. The storytelling in this is just absolutely magnificent. I think maybe 12 and up, 10 and up.
Yeah.
There's nothing objectionable here, like, at all. There's not, like, nudity or anything.
No,
it's just kind of complex, I guess.
It's very complex. I mean, I think
anybody could watch this movie.
Anybody. Okay, fair enough. Yes, it's rated PG-13. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes. Go check it out. And with that, we'll wrap it up. But before we do, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we will come again with another review. And with that, we will bid you all a
good night.
Good night.
Good night.